It is time for the midweek edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. It's the Mahoning and Shenango Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video. What a beautiful couple of days we've had this week. Yesterday and today, bright and sunny. You know, everybody knows around here it's pretty cloudy all winter. Even in early spring, though, the cloudy days tend to outnumber the generally sunny days through at least the first half of April. Then we start turning the corner into our sunniest time of the year, into May through September and October. So back-to-back days like we've had this week, where there's been hardly a cloud in the sky, even though we've had some high cirrus clouds push in this evening. It's a rare treat for late March around here. And today was a warmer day. We got well up into the 50s this afternoon, 14 degrees warmer than the same time Tuesday evening here in the 7 o'clock hour. And tonight overall will not be as cold as the last couple of nights. No one will be scraping frost tomorrow morning with temperatures mostly in the mid-30s. All right, weather scene is a pretty quiet one across the country this evening. Most of the active weather, as it has been for several weeks now. I mean, it's been a heck of a stretch here for late winter and early spring out along the west coast, up into parts of the Pacific Northwest as well. Middle of the country's quiet. There was actually pretty good hailstorms down in Florida this morning. Most of those have pushed offshore. And yeah, east of the Mississippi, it is a quiet evening. And another way to look at how quiet it is looking at all the watch warnings and advisories across the country. There's still a slew of river flood warnings along the Missouri River, the Mississippi River, heading up into parts of the northern plains around the Red River as well. Frost advisories, even a couple of freeze warnings down in parts of the Carolinas this evening, where of course the growing season has begun. So anytime they have the threat for frost down there, they issue a product because, yeah, technically growing season has begun down there. Also winter storm warnings for the Sierra Nevada mountains out in California this evening. But again, overall, for the lower 48 states, things are pretty quiet. With the crystal clear sky we had today, had to grab the high-res satellite. We call this the MODIS satellite. This is a low-orbiting polar satellite that every day captures a couple of shots over Lake Erie early to mid-afternoon. And when it's crystal clear, it's always cool to check this out. A few features of note here down in our neck of the woods. This is Mosquito Lake right here. Here's Pymatuning Reservoir. You notice, especially on the western end of Lake Erie, how kind of all the sediment and the mud, and you know, it's not exactly clean looking. That's pretty typical, especially of the western end of the lake. Still some residual ice on the eastern end of Lake Erie. Now, it wasn't that long ago we still had 90 to 95% ice coverage. Now we're down in the teens and 20s on Lake Erie, and of course what's left of it will be disappearing as we go deeper into spring, and that March sun really does its dirty work. All right, well, our luck is about to run out tomorrow as clouds increase. I think we're going to see some raindrops tomorrow, particularly from midday on into the afternoon. Scattering of showers around, and this front will then kind of stall. It's just a matter of where does it stall. I kind of think our in-house model here is a little bit too far to the south with where it places the front and the resulting precipitation on Friday. I kind of suspect this is a little farther to the north, and therefore the rain's a little farther to the north. So I've got a pretty high chance of rain in our Friday forecast. And then as we head into the weekend, more showers as we kick off the weekend on Saturday. This is the next front out here, which will drive some pretty chilly air in for the end of March and the first stages of April as well. Rainfall totals have not changed much on the modeling since I showed you this last night. From Thursday through Friday night, probably somewhere on the order of a quarter to a half an inch on average, and then we'll add to this on Saturday. So all told, between Thursday and Saturday, I wouldn't be surprised if some of us had about 3/4 of an inch worth of rain coming our way. Temperature forecast on Friday remains a tricky one, depending on where this front decides to set up. If the front straddles our viewing area, we could have one of those days where there's at least a 10, if not 15 degrees or more difference from north to south in our afternoon temperatures. It's plausible that up towards Kinsman, Mesopotamia, kind of along the Route 87 corridor, northern Trumbull County, it may be no better than the low 40s on Friday. Whereas southern areas closer to Calcutta, Glenmore East, Liverpool, Salineville, Lisbon, these numbers may even be a little low down there. Depending on where the front sets up, if it just straddles our area, we could have a pretty big temperature difference on Friday. All right, let's talk about the weekend. An unsettled day coming up on Saturday with a few rounds of showers. Can't even totally rule out a late-day thunderstorm, even though I think the chances are pretty small. Now, fingers crossed that these will be the last snowflakes of the season. It's possible. I would even say it's fairly likely at this point that these will be the last snowflakes of the season for most areas. I wouldn't guarantee it, but it's looking a little bit more likely now. I doubt this is anything impactful, and most of this will occur when you're sleeping Saturday night. When you wake up Sunday morning, most of this will be gone. But some wet snowflakes, sure, on the backside of our cold front in the wee hours of Sunday morning. All right, baseball opening day is tomorrow. The Indians and Pirates have their home openers next week on Monday. The Pirates' first pitch is at, I believe, 1:05 at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. And, well, it's going to be a generally sunny day, a little on the cool side, but nothing too unusual for April 1st. Now, up in Cleveland, it's a 4 o'clock first pitch. And so plan on a chilly evening up there. And, the wind direction will be key, as it always is in Cleveland, especially in early spring. A little bit of a northeasterly flow on Monday will keep the downtown Cleveland area a little bit chillier than some of the surrounding southern suburbs, say. Right along the lake, that's going to be a pretty brisk, chilly opening day coming up for the Tribe on Monday. But it will be dry. There's not going to be any snow this year, as we've seen on in some past years on opening day. Still like the looks of the long-range pattern. This is the 8 to 14 day outlook. Pretty decent odds here for a milder than average stretch. Now, does that mean a bunch of days where temperatures are in the 70s? No, unfortunately not. But a lot of days with temperatures at least a little bit above average. Sure, that looks like a pretty safe bet as we go deeper into the first half of April. That's it for Wednesday night's Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for watching, everyone, and I'll see you back here on Thursday.